Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander. I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, I have my co host, Barbara, here with me. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I am. Hi, Johnny. How are you tonight?
Good. What we agreed on was the topic for tonight is first impressions and how it seems to be hurting people in relationships because what happens is they get involved with these bad relationships. There's that, but there's also the good people let off bad first impressions, and then they get robbed of wonderful experiences. And
Well, okay, that is something I need to be able to wrap my head around, Johnny, because you said first impressions are a problem within relationships.
yes,
But if it's a first impression, then you have no relationship yet. So what
I
are you
understand.
talking about?
Well, what I'm trying to say, Barb, is that uh, I have heard that with women, that the women know right away you like a guy, like immediately, and it's very hard to say with certainty that you like a person after like in seconds seeing them. Does that make
It's an
sense?
attraction. What you're referring to is that instant attraction that women tend to have, which everybody has. You have it too. If you are in a room full of, say, 10 women and you go right into that room and they're all around you, talking to you, chatting with you, don't you think you would have maybe slightly different vibes with one than another? Everybody's
Yeah,
different. They're going to
but
feel something different, aren't they?
that is true. I'll agree to you there. I'm not going to say though that I know everything there is to know about all 10 women, though.
Okay, we're talking about first impressions, and you are saying it is posing a problem with you
Correct.
romantically, personally,
Yes.
in the dating world
Exactly.
specifically. Okay,
Exactly.
so, but it's not a problem once you get into the relationship, whatever your first impression was, or are you
Yeah.
talking about first impressions still matter because you're introducing that person to many of your friends, other people, and you want to feel proud. If you don't feel proud of them and their
Right.
first impression, it's kind of on you as well. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
I guess what I'm trying to say, Barbara, is I have talked to women before, and women have said to me, before I haven't met them, I haven't met them in real life, oh well, I'm not interested in a relationship. Well, I haven't met you yet, and and I guess the point that I'm trying to make is I don't think you can really make a judgment about somebody that you have not met as far as like shooting down the idea of relationship altogether when you have not
Why do you think this is because of the photo of you that they saw that automatically they said this because of your photo? Well, just tell them this. Just tell
I
them,
think
hey, I am looking for a romantic relationship, so I'll see you later. Nice to make your acquaintance and just move on.
I think what it is that there are certain things that just people are going to notice, um, and it doesn't mean that I honestly, it wasn't until a few years ago that I started wondering how I looked, wondering how I came across, like my face and everything. It was always sort of something that I never thought of because I never thought that a woman would be interested in me romantically. So I didn't think about my face. I didn't think about it. And, but the thing is, some people, like for example, you are like this, you have an instinct to be ready when it comes to, appearance. You have an instinct to be prepared, if that makes sense.
Well, thank you. But I'm in touch and I'm in tune with my intuition. I just feel that, yes, when you see a person, this is when we were talking yesterday about this. I wanted to share it on the show. Okay. mm, If you if you have a first impression and you're like, wow, I shook their hand and I just felt such electricity
Right.
and they did too, that's great. But sometimes that's not always the way it works. So people can't just wait for that only to happen because a lot of times you'll meet somebody and you'll become really great friends. You love their humor, you love many things about them, and then you do fall in love. So I just don't think that first impressions are always just make or break. I don't think they just make or break everything all the time. Give yourself a little break. Not everybody's going to like everybody's photo. Oh my gosh, I have horrible, horrible photos. Do you think I'm going to post any of those? I would probably repel everybody. Maybe I
You
could
know,
help you get a nice photo of yourself that's inviting and friendly
right.
because you're a very handsome man, Johnny. There's no reason why a photo of you should repel a person. There's nothing wrong with your features whatsoever.
Well,
You're
yeah,
a
and
very normal,
you're right about that.
normal size head. I'm just kidding. You're normal. You're a normal, nice
No, but I know
looking
what you're
person.
saying. It is true. It's like the instinct to be prepared, the instinct to, know, and it's just so because there's a lot of I guess what I'm trying to say is that um like I have I don't have that instinct that to be prepared. You do. You will not do anything unless you are prepared for, and how you look. You don't do it. You didn't that the it's very rare that
But
you'll
to a
there's this
fault,
instinct.
to a fault. Don't go by me. That's not always good, Johnny. I prefer the way you are more because you're spontaneous. I am a perfectionist, which it holds me up a lot. It makes me
Right.
not go through with things because it's not perfect. So, no, please don't follow the way I do it. I think you're going about it just fine and you put hours into it and you really care and you search. And I know that with good energy and good thoughts and prayers, the right woman is going to come along for you. And so what I see that you're doing wrong is you're wasting too much time with the ones that are not working. You need to move on fast because there's so many. There's so many to go through. And that's what the women are doing, though, too. Maybe they're overlooking you too quickly because there's so many
Right.
people. Can you tell the listeners what websites you're on, what dating sites that you are on?
Well, I mean, I think TikTok is where I've been on because TikTok, with TikTok, there's video
You're not
chatting
on
and
camera,
you're
Johnny.
chatting with.
All right.
Okay, I'm sorry. When I go on TikTok, I'm chatting with people via camera, and because when I'm chatting with people via camera, you know, I am really chatting with the person. Immediately. I want the person, and I. It's just that and I think also because of the fact that there are women who have been in bad relationships, abusive relationships, um, they they need. I will tell you that some of the women that I've spoken with who have been in abusive relationships, they've said to me, I need to learn not to go by first impressions because it's like it could be very sabotaging, you know. But another way of looking at it is like, okay, if a person is like a test that you take, to find out about. You do not have to get the 100 on the first try. It's okay
That's
to
right.
not, um, like I think a good analogy of it is that sometimes some of the great things in life are things that take slow and we learn. Like I was gonna say this about you. Your daughter recently turned had a birthday, and her getting there was not overnight, but you wouldn't change that. You wouldn't
That's
change that.
right. I
It would
loved every
still
minute of it.
right. The idea you don't become 18 overnight. It goes slow. And sometimes, I think that what's happened is people have forgotten the idea of just falling in love going slow instead of it being this awakening, this realization, I mean, you get to know somebody, and then you get to know them more every day.
Well, there's some people like me who just think, oh my gosh, this is going to be a grueling process within a relationship to get to know the person because, okay, maybe not grueling, maybe they're wonderful to get to know, but the outcome isn't what you want. So you put in a year or two, and then say one person wants to get married, somebody doesn't, or one wants children. And, you know, first impressions are kind of important actually, because when you're talking about first impressions, I was just thinking that it's an instant thing when you meet somebody, shake their hand. But I think you're talking about, are you talking about impressions more in the beginning of what they thought they were getting into, but they're finding out it's a whole nother ball game? Are you talking about first
Well,
impressions that are
uh,
multiple impressions that
okay,
you're getting in the beginning? Please describe what you think first impressions are.
okay. A good example of it is, I let's say I'm on a date with someone, okay, and I'm sitting at the table. I start rocking back. Now,
You
there's a
cut
reason
out. You start what?
rocking back and forth. Okay.
In your chair
Yeah, yeah. Now
as you sit.
that is because of CP. That's also because of some other things. It can look
Can you,
strange.
but you talk like everybody's supposed to know these abbreviations
Okay, no,
and you
you're right.
said it
You're
so
right. You're
quickly.
right. You're right.
It's
I'll
not
go ahead and explain.
interesting. Okay, you're
Cerebral
rocking because of what?
palsy, cerebral
Oh,
palsy, okay,
okay.
and the autism makes me rock, and
But do you
I
tell
make
them
you look
this
a little
ahead of
strange.
time? Sorry, Johnny, to interrupt,
Oh,
but I'm trying to
I
understand.
do.
So are you're talking
So
about this as
I
a first
understand.
impression that they're not warned of?
Right. Well,
They're
you're
not
right. I do
warned
tell
ahead of
them.
time?
Um, I do actually. I have been known to tell them. And the reason I tell them is because anytime thing that you gotta remember something else too about anything involving learning disabilities or anything like that. You're actually doing two things when you do that. You're telling somebody how to communicate with you better, and you're also telling them how to make you look silly. So let's say like if I were to tell, let's say that you were to tell me that I'm dyslexic. Say you did. I'm not dyslexic, but say you told me, Donnie, I'm dyslexic. I have a thing with numbers. Well, if I wanted to make you look a little silly on the air, I could just ask you a bunch of questions about numbers. See what I'm saying? You're
Yes,
telling,
you could, like, you know who did that is a lot of people, like interviewers, but Howard Stern, he would love to make his guests look foolish. I
right.
refuse to go on his show because of it. Because if he wants to, he will. He'll find a way to make you look foolish. And some
Well,
ladies didn't care about that, but I did.
yeah, it's you don't want. I mean, learning disabilities is supposed to be a communication aid, but if like if somebody is gonna like say, well, let's ask Barbara a bunch of questions about numbers because we know what's gonna happen, or let's ask Barbara a bunch of
That what would happen is I'd probably get it right. What do you mean? See, you're
well,
stereotyping me
no,
to
no,
the
no, no,
audience
no,
right
no, no,
now.
no, no, no. You didn't let me explain. What I meant to say is that if somebody has a learning disability, it's just hypothetical. You did have a learning disability. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying that if you did have a learning disability, let's say with numbers, and you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Well, it's taken a while to get to the point. So where did we start and what is the
Right,
end?
right.
What
I
did
guess
I
the
even ask you?
point I'm trying
Uh,
to make is that learning when you talk to somebody about their learning disabilities, like learning disabilities that I have, it can be used against the person to make them look silly. You understand?
you, the person having the disability?
Yes.
Well, then you don't want to get caught in a date with a person doing that, but I think that would be very odd and rare. for somebody to take the time to actually go on a date with you just to ridicule you, I really doubt that's going to happen. I mean, do you think that's going to happen? Is that a fear of yours?
No, well, but I will tell you that sometimes it can happen without realizing it. Like, for example, if a person, is hard of hearing or hard of seeing, you can forget about it, and then and then you will be talking to them, and then you won't, you'll say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
That's
Um,
Asperger's. Do you have Asperger's?
yes, I have Asperger's. There's a ton of disabilities out there, and it's important to understand them so that you can communicate with the person, not
But you
to.
warned the people. They
I
need to
do warn
go
them. Yeah,
Google Asperger's because that's basically, isn't it when you put your foot in your mouth, you say the wrong thing, but
yeah. What they
the urge to
do
say it,
is,
or you say it too quickly, you don't think before you say it, or it just seems like so perfect, you just don't understand how it could
there's
offend
a lot
anybody,
of it
or what?
is that foot and mouth. A lot of it is very much foot and mouth. I mean, the wrong place, the wrong time, the wrong. But in reality, it's the person really do trying to be nice about it.
But
And
you're so sweet. You don't mean any disrespect, or you don't mean any anything. You're just all positive. I know that about you, but a person who is a stranger meeting you, that first impression, yes, it can be an obstacle. So I want to tell you, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. I can see, I've empathy for you, that I could see how that could be hard. Are there categories in dating sites where you can, is there any
there are
info
some
area where
dating
you
sites.
can
Yeah,
write that
there's
what I have?
there are dating sites for Asperger's people,
Really?
and yeah, and you have to sort of. But I haven't met anybody there. But there are some. I will tell you that I have told myself that I would never go on a show like The Bachelor because it just would never work. Those shows don't work. The show Love on the Spectrum that has been shown to work. So it's
Oh,
not
I
like
was telling you that you'd be perfect for that show, Johnny. And oh, you did talk to the producers about being on
right,
Love on the Spectrum.
right.
And I do not follow this show. I do not put it on my list. I'm not into it. To me, I'm not a creature of habit. I was into the 90 Day Fiance. It's not because they have autism. It's just because I'm not into those shows right
I
this
know.
second. But I was into those types of shows. But
But
I did
the
check it
thing
out
that
for
got
you.
me,
I thought it was
yeah,
great for you. Did you not
well,
get chosen
no,
for
I
to be on
didn't.
that show?
But this is what I'm going to say: it is that if you follow up with the people that have been on The Bachelor and those other things, they're not together. And I don't want to be on a show that doesn't work. I mean, if you really want to find love and relationships, you go on shows that work. Does that make sense? Okay, are you there?
Like the dating game?
Yeah.
Remember that old one?
Well, I was
No,
thinking
I'm
more
just
like
kidding.
love.
I'm just kidding. I don't think there's anybody from the dating game that actually did get married. Do you
Well, I
know?
think Love Connection did have
Oh, that's what I was
some
talking about.
Love
With
Connection
the,
did have some success. It did have some success.
I
I
love that
probably
show.
I would probably go on Love Connection, but I would say that only because it just it's something that could work. But
You know the
anyway,
dating game, that Ramirez, the very scary
yeah,
serial killer
I
was
know.
on there. Okay, you know. Okay, but Johnny, back to you with the dating. I think that, oh, first of all, tell me how expensive is this to be on these dating sites?
Oh, well, it varies. Some it's $30 a month, some it's $40 a month. But
40, that's quite expensive.
yeah, I mean, I personally, but I mean, with all the AI and the rooms where people can pretend to be other people and everything, you know, but anyway,
Johnny,
well,
okay, you've been on these dating sites for a while. Here is my question that I think would interest everybody. What are you specifically looking for? Maybe there's a lovely lady listening right now that you'd be perfect for. Tell us,
Well, she has to have
what are
kind
your
of a.
interests?
I want her to be kind of mystical, understands, loves
Hmm.
the paranormal, philosophical, does not want children, you know, does not have children or wants children, but very mystical.
Okay, what if she already had children and they're like 30 years old and they don't even live with her? Is that okay?
Then I would be okay with that. But I mean, in an ideal setting, it would be have to be somebody that doesn't have kids, you know.
Because you don't even want to be a father figure. It's not that you don't like the human being children. You
Right.
love children, but you just don't want to be a father figure. And I don't blame you. Even if you felt really great about your fathering skills. I don't know, maybe you do feel great about your fathering skills. You just
Mm.
don't want to be one. But some people have been great fathers. They just want to do it all over again. And there are a lot of people out there, Johnny, girls that want to have babies and they haven't had them yet. And they feel so young, like they've got so much time, but it creeps up on you. And pretty soon you're in your late 30s trying to figure out how you're going to do it and you don't even have a man, you don't even have a relationship. So be careful because
All
you
right.
might just be used for more than your fabulous self and personality. You might be used to get a baby born because a lot of people do that and they don't even want to have anything to do with you. They're just using you for that one thing.
Mhm. All right. Well, thank you. Did you want to do the shout out?
Yes. Okay. In 1 week, let's talk again here about how it's going. I feel like we're leaving you with no tips at all, no help. Just the help that just delete the ones that are not working and go about it faster and just know that you're fabulous, Johnny, and you have so many people, especially women in your life that you work with, gorgeous, fabulous women that you know and work
Yes.
with. Drop a few of their names around these new dates. Okay.
Okay.
And for some reason that works because let me tell you, okay, I'll end it with this. I'll end the show with this. My brother and I have lived in the same city many times, not now, but when we lived in Vegas, especially, he said, I can't go anywhere with you. I get no action because everybody thinks that you're my girlfriend. And he goes, even after that, if then I say that's my sister, and then we're talking, we get like 1 or 2 dates, they get very intimidated because they think that he, as being my brother his whole life, they're used to, they're expecting, let's just say, they're expecting to be every woman to be just like the sister, a successful
Right.
model, very, very, just they start to get a little intimidated
Mhm.
by the fact that he has me as his sister. And, it was a serious issue, actually. It wasn't for me to laugh about. And he was not laughing about when he talked about that issue because when his girlfriends got to know who his sister was, they really got intimidated. They didn't think they were good enough. They couldn't compete, even though he would try to make them feel like and tell them I'm the most down to earth person they could ever meet. The ones that got past that, who could understand it, were totally cool. And even when he would break up with them, they're still my friends to this day. But they're a different kind of woman. It doesn't even phase them, that kind of thing. So just remember out there that you have a lot of power in your cap. Pull out the feathers once in a while, Johnny. Use them.
Okay.
You're you for a reason with a successful radio show and a Playboy Playmate who's your co-host. This didn't
Right.
happen overnight, and it happened because you made it happen. Don't ever forget that. All
All
right.
right.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. And don't forget to follow us here on Spreaker to get all of our show updates and all around social media too. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right.
Good night,
Thank you,
everybody.
Johnny. Good night, everybody.